I got this roll of plaster of Paris infused cotton wraps because I wanted to test them out to see how easy it would be for kids to use it to make projects. And it comes wrapped in this little plastic roll. I think you can get this in more than one number of rolls, but I just got the one that was one roll just to test it out. It does come, like I said, wrapped in a plastic bag because that keeps the moisture out of it. And as soon as the moisture touches the plaster of Paris, I guess it starts activating it. So it keeps it dry as it's traveling. And it's very easy to use. This comes in a roll with the plaster is already embedded in the cloth. You can see the dry plaster there. And you just have to be careful not to get it wet before you want it to be wet. I use just a regular kind of Tupperware container, like a little plastic container with a lid, because the plaster of Paris will not stick to the plastic. It's non-porous. Anything that's porous, like cardboard or cloth, it's probably going to stick to that. So if you're using something as a form, which is what I was using this for, you definitely don't want to have it be a porous thing because it's going to make it harder to take off. Now, I know that you can use this on your skin to do casts of your face and that kind of thing. I would watch some videos about how to do that because you do have to be careful with hair and you have to put Vaseline on on the surface of your skin and certain other parts so you don't rip your eyebrows out and that kind of thing. But you can use this to make masks and that sort of thing for theater and other, crafts like that. Now, to activate this, you just take the piece, like you saw me cut this with scissors. It's very easy to cut. I'm just making small pieces. I wasn't really measuring this. I'm just putting them on. Put it in some warm water and you kind of rub it and it will turn milky and soft and the plaster activates. And then you can just put this fabric right on whatever you're using as the cast to mold it. Very simple to use. This is messy though. So if you have little kids and you're going to be doing this, just make sure that they have supervision. And you might want to do this outside because whatever the plaster gets on, it's going to stick to, and it might ruin a surface if you're trying to put it on a rug. Like if it drops on a rug, don't do this with carpeting. Make sure that you have some kind of a surface that you can clean afterwards. This table that I'm using just has a plastic sheet on it. It's like a plastic tablecloth kind of situation, and it did get some plaster on there that I probably am not going to be able to get off unless I really scrape it. It should come off if I scrape it, but just make sure that whatever surface you're using is protected and is not something that you treasure. Don't use your family heirloom tablecloth for this. But it's very simple to cut. I'm just using these little craft scissors and I just cut the piece in half to make it a little bit easier to work with. It does kind of fold on itself as you're working with it. It will fold on itself. But as you see, I'm kind of crumpling it up here to see how that would make it work. And it just crumpled it up. But you can unfold it and it will activate the plaster. You see it's getting all over my hands. Like I said, it's a little messy, but it's not difficult. So as you're working this, just do as clear, like as flat a layer as you can if you want the final thing to be flat. And one thing that I found is that you can put it on the thing that you're molding and kind of press it down with your fingers and smooth it out. And that will make the plaster seep into the little holes in the cloth. If you can make that plaster as smooth as possible as you're working it, as it's wet, then it will give you a very smooth surface when it's dry. And I was surprised at how smooth the surface was that this came off of this plastic container. It's really, really very smooth. And I thought it was going to be a lot bumpier, but I think that it just depends on how well you smooth it out to begin with. So as you're working this, just try to overlap everything, smooth the edges down, kind of smooth it with your fingers to make sure that the plaster is filling all of the holes. If you can see the holes in the fabric, then you want to try to fill that in with extra plaster that's on your fingers or at the bottom of the bowl, because some will come out in the bottom of the bowl. Now, I will say that as you're cleaning this up, you want to make sure that you're not washing a lot of plaster down your sink. So make sure that you are throwing this out somewhere, maybe outside, where it's not going to go down your sink, because this can clog up your sink if you have too much wet plaster going down your sink. That's not a good thing. Let everything dry out and then rip off the dried plaster and put it in the garbage off of the thing that you're molding. But as long as you're using something that is non-porous, it should come off pretty easily. So I went ahead and covered this whole thing, and I went around the sides. I'm not going to show you the whole process, but I was very surprised at how dry, like how well it dried and how hard it was when it dried. All right, so I cut out a whole bunch, but I wrapped this all the way around the edges. I tried to get it as smooth as I can, and you can see here that I'm really smoothing it out. And the more evenly you can get this on to begin with, the better it's going to dry and the more solid it's going to be when it dries. You can do multiple layers. I think this was the third layer, or this is the second layer that I put around the edge. And I took one long strip and wrapped it all the way around the edge and tried to get that top pretty level, because you can level it off, but it's better to get it as good as you can get it before it dries so that you don't have to work it a lot. And if you run into some holes in the fabric where you can see through, like I said, just take some plaster off your fingers and put it in the little holes. And I have a little paper towel there. Just have something there that you can dry your hands on, because it does get messy. You can see how messy my hands are. I would just dip my fingers in the water and smooth it out, and that worked really, really well. I left it to dry, and I left it to dry for a couple of hours. It says it dries in about 15 minutes, which is true, but because I was removing it from a form, I wanted it to be really dry. I took it out, and it still felt cold. If it feels cold, then it still has moisture in it, and it's in the process of drying. But it came off very easily from the form. I didn't put anything on the plastic container. It was just the plastic. It didn't stick to that or anything, so it was great. And after letting it dry overnight, I just let it sit on the counter. It was hard as a rock. I was really surprised at how strong it is. Now, if I really tried, I was able to bend one side a little bit. So if you want to go around this a few times, like 2 or 3 times with the plaster of Paris strips, it's going to make it stronger. You can see there on the bottom, I just bent it with my thumb. So I could have gone in but this stuff is really hard. So this worked really well, and I would say that it's definitely a good medium to use. It made it a lot easier to have the cloth strips with the plaster in it, and I didn't have to mess with separate strips and cutting those and dipping it in the plaster and the whole thing. And it just speeds the process up a lot, but it is messy, and it's something that little kids are going to have help with, but it does make a very hard surface, and if you layer multiple layers, it's going to make it even harder.